The European Court of Justice has ruled that European Union member states do not have to issue visas to refugees at risk of torture or inhumane treatment. The decision made by the court cuts off a possible channel for refugees attempting to enter Europe. The court ruled on a case of a Syrian family from the city of Aleppo who applied for a visa to stay with acquaintances in Belgium in October. Belgian authorities have refused the visa, leading to a court battle. The ruling comes as the EU is trying to curb immigration after taking in some 1.6 million refugees and migrants who arrived across the Mediterranean in 2014 to 2016. Well, CGTN's Elena Casas has been following this story and now joins us with more insights from Brussels. Elena, what more can you tell us about the court ruling and its expected impact? What do you know?
Well, this was an attempt by lawyers on behalf, as you said, of a Syrian family from Aleppo to try and open a new route for refugees to reach Europe. Essentially, they hoped to set the precedent that European countries would be forced to grant humanitarian visas to people fleeing war and torture. That's what Belgium's highest court thought, and it's also what one of the European Court of Justice's most senior advisors thought. They both found against the Belgian government when it refused this family a humanitarian visa. But now the ECJ has taken the opposite opinion. They've decided that issuing visas, humanitarian humanitarian visas to refugees rather, is a matter for individual European countries and not for European human rights law. And that means that essentially nothing will change about the current way that refugees reach Europe. At the moment, in order to apply for asylum in Europe, they must make the journey first and then apply from within a European country. And they can only apply for asylum in the first country that they arrive in, according to European rules. This was an attempt by lawyers to change some of those rules to give people a new way to arrive in Europe without having to make that dangerous journey. And it looks like they haven't managed to open that road.
Well, they are trying to find a new way, though. But how has this ruling been received by rights and relief organizations who had been pushing those European nations to adopt that more humane approach to refugees and migrants?
Well, NGOs and human rights organisations argue that current European policy acts as a pull factor, that it encourages people, forces them even, into making a very long and dangerous journey across the Mediterranean, precisely because there is no other legal alternative. This case has now set the precedent that you cannot, as this Syrian family attempted, go into the embassy of a European country outside of Europe and apply for asylum in Europe. You must make the journey first. And of course, that's what encourages people to undertake what are often very risky journeys. 487 people, mostly African, have drowned crossing the Mediterranean in attempts to reach Europe this year. This means that this year looks likely to become one of the most deadly on record. And NGOs and humanitarian groups that are trying to stop those deaths say that this legal ruling just makes it more likely that those people will feel that they need to make that journey because they have no other means of reaching Europe.
All right, Elena Casas for us there in Brussels.